Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Hope and Coffee. My hair is a little bit of a mess today, but when is it not really? It probably always looks a little bit different, a little bit crazy. I am about to do these roots probably here in the next about hour. So hopefully the next time you see me on this channel, you will see my roots have been freshly done. I don't know, maybe I'll do a shadow root. We are now into September, well into September, and getting close to October. So fall is almost here. We are about 7 weeks away from the wedding that I'm going to. So I did get the dress that I am wearing to that wedding, and I love it. But then I also realized I ordered a slightly bigger size than I need, so then I had to go back and order the small. So now I'm waiting for the small to arrive, and then maybe I'll do a little go try it on and show you all what I'm wearing. So who knows? I'm not really a get ready with me sort of person, but who knows? I am not an influencer. I am not trying to sell you anything. But anyway, I think it's a super cute dress. I had really gotten down to between two different dresses that I was really tempted between. And the one that I chose, in my personal opinion, was a little bit more what I would call old Hollywood. Fits me really well, like hugs really well, but it's still very flattering. The wedding that I'm going to is also what I would call just a little bit more modest in its attire. And so I think it still suits my personality while also still kind of respecting that of the individuals getting married, which I want to be able to do as well. So very happy to be able to do that, to be able to be there and be a part of that celebration. And I cannot wait. But this episode is not about going to the wedding. It is about an article that I read from Forbes a little bit ago, actually, probably about a month ago at this point. So I apologize for kind of being a little lax in recording this. There may be an episode before or after this one that talks about the fact that I just got over laryngitis. So, had to get over that before I could get back into recording. So, some of the episodes that have been coming out lately have actually kind of been in what I call the hopper for a little bit of time, just simply because I kind of had to schedule them out in order to get over my laryngitis. However, this article is from Forbes magazine and is about the automation of literature and how standardized testing is really killing reading instruction. And I think this article is pretty important just simply because me as a reader, I love reading. Like, I am constantly reading. Right now, I have two different books on deck that I have to finish this week. One is literally due tomorrow, and I'm about 70% done with it, so I need to churn the rest of that out tonight. The second one that I have is technically due Thursday, and we are interviewing the author, so I want to do as much justice to that book as possible. So as soon as I finish this first book, I am going to finish the second book. And yes, I've started it, so please don't at me with that. But so far it's really good. And so I want to be able to finish it so I can have great conversation with my co-hosts as well as the author about this brilliant work that she has put together. But I don't want to dive too much into that yet because that will be coming up on our podcast episode, Books Are Magical. That's available on pretty much all podcast platforms. So please go check that out if you enjoy podcasts and book-related content. But this is a little bit of book-related content as well, just a little bit different. We are, according to this article, we are kind of losing the ability to deductively reason because of the way we conduct standardized testing. And they do ask it more of a question, but I really do think it's kind of a logical step in the way we're doing sort of things. I have not been in junior high, high school in years. College was also quite a few years ago for me as well. My student loans remind me that all the time. However, as New York over the summer was preparing to go back to school, they were shifting in their reading instruction, and recent reports indicate that it's not just because of lower grades, but in high school as well, are showing marked lower grades in reading. And one of those shifts in particular is causing some alarm because it seems to be that we're so focused on teaching short excerpts rather than whole texts. And a lot of the reasoning behind that seems to be is that most standardized tests are read this paragraph, answer these questions. Read this paragraph, answer these questions. And so that's what a lot of classrooms are doing as well in order to teach to a test instead of teach to knowledge and learning. And so this article was saying that that's causing some alarm because individuals are then not being able to move forward with being able to actively, deductively reason over long periods or over longer pieces of literature, like an actual whole book. Being able to keep a train of thought and keeping pieces from the beginning of that book through it to the end in order to ensure that you've actually understood the whole thing and been able to put the whole thing together in a logical way that it made sense, you know, in, I guess, an understanding way. And so they're saying it's a balancing act because your excerpts have kind of been a challenge for teachers. There's only so many days that teachers can teach, and only so much can be really only so much can be achieved. So there's a compromise that's usually made. It's like, well, we have usually a big test, or, they usually have a standardized test that needs to take them to the next level, the SAT, the ACT, whatever big test it may be. So we need to prepare them for that. However, these big tests don't often lend to, larger pieces of deductive literature and those sorts of things. And it's like, do you really want to take, and this is just one of the questions from the article, is do you really want to take 6 full months to work through Moby Dick, or is it enough to give students just a taste? Well, I think Moby Dick is maybe not the best example in my personal opinion, but I think there's some fantastic argument that can be made about the content and the context of Moby Dick, and then just teaching summaries, because you're not really given a lot of opportunity to dive into a lot of the meaning and understanding. And again, it comes to the fact that we only get to hit those high notes in education right now. So we maybe even have to talk about, how do we then involve some books that are now being considered banned books? What do we do about nonfiction books that really aren't being included so often in literature or classes? You may get history books, but you're not really getting a ton of nonfiction per se. Like, I don't remember just a ton or many, if any, nonfiction books in my English classes. And but that's a critical part of being a literate person, is to be able to take and dig through a text and then examine and explore and really comprehend on a larger level than just these paragraphs. And so that's kind of the point of this article. And I'm just kind of wondering what you all think about it, because I thought it was a really brilliant article that I was very concerned about, in my opinion. That's why I thought it was interesting to bring up, is we're losing a lot of context and we're losing a lot of content because people are so quick to believe just those very surface, high level, what I call clickbait, tagline, headlines, that they don't get into the meat of conversations too much to really find out what's going on underneath. We lose so much when it comes to actually digging deeper, to doing the research, to finding out more, and it's affecting us in so many other ways just beyond literature. So I just want to know what you think of that down below. Maybe we take one book and we try to study it for the year, and we teach them how to take a standardized test based on experts of that. I don't know. I don't know the right answer for this, but there are so many other factors and forces that are kind of behind this. But let me know what you think if you've made it this far. I'd love to have a deeper conversation on this. I am very passionate about reading, writing, comprehension, thought, logic, but also creativity and being able to explore beyond the page and between the lines. So until next time, I will see you on the next page. Have a great one.